In this video, we'll take a look at the string index method. In Python, string indexing refers to accessing individual characters of a string using their position, or also known as the index within a string. Using the string index, you are able to find and print a particular character or sequence of characters within a string. And if a character is found, it returns the first occurrence of the index using numeric values, starting at 0. So with the index starting at 0, this means the first character is a 0 and the second character is a 1, and so on. You're able to use a -1 or a -2 as well, and in that case you can count backwards from the last character. So -1 is the last character and the -2 is the second to last character, and here is an example of how we may use the index method. But looking at the syntax, so the syntax is string.index, and then you specify the value of what you are looking for, and then a comma, and then you can optionally specify the start and end of the index, where you want the search within a given string to start and end, followed by a closed parenthesis. And one more thing about the index method, if a value is not found, it raises an exception. And this brings us on to another method for finding characters within a string, which is the find method at the bottom. The index method is similar to the find method. In fact, they are very similar, but when searching for a substring within a given string, the find method returns a -1 if the substring is not found, where the index method throws an exception. So these are the major differences between the two. And the use case for each of these is you would use the find method if you want to search for a substring but do not want to handle an error if the substring is not found. And this method is helpful when you expect the substring might not be present and you want to check the result before proceeding. Where the index method, if you wanted an exception to be raised when the substring is missing, this might be the preferred choice where the absence of a substring is considered an error and you want Python to return the error so that you can handle that error accordingly. On this page, you've got 3 use cases for using the string index method. And the first one is accessing certain characters. So you may want to extract certain characters from a string. So the username equals Jack Sparrow and our first underscore character equals username. And in brackets, I've got the index position of 2. So the output of 2 will be C. So it starts from 0 for J and then 1 for A and then 2 for C. And the last character I've got -2, which is an O. So we have -1, which is the W, and then -2, the O. The next example is data validation, when you need to validate specific patterns, such as if you are checking a string starts or ends with a specific character. So I've got if my string, and then I've got in the brackets, the square brackets, a 0, so that's the index position, a 0. And then if it equals the comment sign, the hash, print comment. So we are indicating anything with a hash starting at 0, this is a comment. And the last example is a substring extraction. You can extract parts of the string. For example, extract telephone numbers, names, IDs, car registration plates, order numbers, or any other keyword from a string. And the example I have is about the email domain. So we are slicing to extract a substring from a larger string. So in this example, we are extracting the domain from an email. So in the first line, we've got email equals jack@my_company.com. So the line assigns the string to the variable email, and the second line is domain equals email, and then we have Python's built-in string manipulation functions, which extracts the domain part of the email address, the part after the @ symbol, and assigns it to the variable domain. This method returns the @ position of the first occurrence of the @ symbol in the email string. In this case, the @ is at index 4, because J is at 0, A is at 1, C is at 2, and K is at 3, and then we've got at position 4. And the +1, adding a 1 to the index of the @ symbol, moves us to the next character, which is the first character of the domain. In this case, this index would be 5, corresponding to the letter M. And this is also string slicing as well, which we will be having a look at in the next video. It means taking the substring of email starting at index 5 and going all the way to the end of the string. So the slice extracts the substring from the 5th index onwards, which is my_company.com. It will make more sense when we have a look at the slice video on this part. And of course, the last part prints the domain, my_company. So those are some use cases. Let's jump into PyCharm and have a look at some examples. We are in my PyCharm application, and the first thing I will do is create a variable. So the variable will be my_string. This is Jaffa's string, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exclamation mark, enter. And then x equals my_string dot index, bracket, quote s quote. Let's look for s within my string, and then we will do print x. Let's run the file. So it's found that s is in position 3 of the index, which is 0. It always starts with the 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's do string and see what that gives us. And it says it's in index position 16. So that would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. But if we change the first letter into an uppercase, this time it should not detect it. And here we go. So it's returned an exception. So with the index method, it returns an exception when nothing is found, unlike the find method, which returns a -1. Let's actually try that. Let's put in find instead here. Find, and let's run that instead. And there we go. It's returned a -1 instead. And actually, it's just occurred to me, with find, there's rfind as well. So it would find the last occurrence of the string or the substring sequence, and that's the same for index as well. There's rindex. So if I do rindex instead, and we can see there's two variants of is. There's is here and is over here as well. So if we type is over here to say we're searching for is, and let's run that, and we can see it's given us an index of 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's found the second one. That's the last occurrence. If I remove the r and run it again, this time it's given us the first occurrence, which is a 2. 0, 1, 2. Another thing we can do is specify the start and end value. So we can specify, let's say 3 and 20. And let's look for the character or the value I. Actually, let's change this to 1 to start with, and let's run this. So it's given us an index value of 2. So it's saying start at 0, 1, and then it's found the I here in position 2 because we started at 1. So it's included between 1 and 20. But if we say start at 3, it should ignore this one. 0, 1, 2, it should start at the S. So it should find this one here, which is an index of 5. Let's run this, and there we go. It's found the index value of 5, ignoring the first 3 positions, 0, 1, 2, 3.